It's time now for the Peter Channel 5 o'clock news, and it's Wednesday evening, August 3rd, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins. Your 5 o'clock news and on this Wednesday evening. Top story at the 5 o'clock hour is some party lawyers are scrambling to try to correct Donald Trump's erratic presidential campaign after the nominee suffered a startling number of self-inflicted campaign wounds in just a kickoff week of the general election race. President Obama claimed conceded to a record 214 inmates on Wednesday, first surpassing his previous single-day record as part of an ongoing effort to release federal inmates serving prison terms seemed to be unduly harsh. Washington, Indiana Governor Mike Pence spoke with his running mate Donald Trump on Wednesday when his endorsing the House Speaker Paul Brown in his primary re-election fight. Dubai and an Emirates jetliner arrived in India caught fire after slipping on a runway in Dubai and Wednesday killing one firefighter in an intense blaze and bringing the world's busiest international airport to a halt for several hours. Donald Trump's campaign on Wednesday denied a report that he said that the Republican presidential nominee had repeatedly asked an international foreign policy expert by the U.S. Washington, a cash payment of $400 million delivered to Iran in January became part of the presidential campaign on Wednesday as Donald J. Trump seized on the money transfer as a sign of what he called the administration's failed foreign policy. Private, the 28-year-old student attorney turned down a scholarship to study economics in Germany in order to remain in his native Aleppo after rebels took it over in 2012, promised a new administration and left free to rule of President Bashar al-Assad. Dubai, United Arab Emirates, a top Indian official arrived in Saudi Arabia on Wednesday to meet with the labor minister who said that the kingdom will provide airfares for thousands of Indian laborers who say they will have not been paid the salaries. Sirte, Libya, U.S. Air Strikes are easing in the passage of Libyan forces and they seek to clear Islamic State from the militant group's former Northern African stronghold at Sirte, a senior field commander said on Wednesday. Seoul, North Korea shot the ballistic missile startling coast in Japan on Wednesday, sparing stern condemnations from Tokyo, Seoul, and Washington. Crack is Venezuela. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro asked the control to General and the Supreme Court to block resources of the opposition control the parliament. Abuja, Nigeria. Boko Haram, the Islamic insurgent group in Nigeria, affiliated with Islamic State as a new leader. Managua, Nicaragua. Nicaragua President Daniel Ortega has named Rizal Morales new representatives. Vice presidential running as he seeks his third term in November elections. So, North Koreans are developing a taste for spiritual representation from the southern border, according to sources in the country. Washington. In the first case of the U.S. police officer charged of aiding assets of Washington metropolitan area transit authority cop was arrested on Wednesday for providing material to support the Justice Department announced. The driver of the charter bus that crashed in Merced County early Tuesday after killing multiple people worked long hours and may have been losing sleep after recent evidence while family members said his daughter disputed it. San Francisco, as officials asked for the public help in finding the people who started an illegal campfire that did a grift in a massive wildfire north of the Big Sur, authorities that considered what penalties the campus could face on Wednesday were found. Austin, Texas have read on Wednesday the weakness border ID law, which federal courts have said discriminating against minorities in a poll that left more than 600,000 registered voters potentially unable to cast a ballot. Washington Democrat presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's gains after the Democratic National Convention to continue to consolidate after the UPI see voter poll data. Washington poll finds 47% of Hillary Clinton supporters do not know any Donald Trump supporters, and 31% of Trump supporters said the same on Clinton. New York, Donald Trump raised a combined $1 million in July between direct campaign contributions and joint receiving fundraising efforts, as Kevin announced on Wednesday. Middletown, Rhode Island. Sex abuse victims at Rhode Island St. George School have reached a settlement with school officials over the misconduct in the 1970s and 1980s. Time Warner's willingness to serve as a sous chef in Hull's Crowded Kitchen could keep the broth from spoiling. Hull's, the digital TV source, get $580 million from Time Warner, the American media conglomerate, the first programs on TNT and CNN. Earnings are higher than expected at Rupert Murdoch-controlled company, trading for Century Fox for reported slightly better than expected to quarterly profit helped by higher ad revenue in its cable division. Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated has agreed to pay $36.3 million to settle allegations by the Federal Reserve that it obtained and used confidential petroleum materials from the Central Bank 2 years ago. Lunar exploration and mining firm Moon Express has become the first private company to receive government approval to land on the moon, possibly providing another boost for the commercial space industry. Philadelphia, the largest U.S. bank, J.P. Morgan Chase, settled a lawsuit this week over excessive fees charged to former prison inmates the last 4 years. White Sands Missile in range New Mexico. Lockheed Martin's miniature hit to kill interceptor missile successfully launched at White Sands Missile range in New Mexico, the company announced on Tuesday. Mexico City. The Mexican Navy debuted its new Arctic T-20 surveillance drone at the Customary late last week, the service announced. San Diego, General NASCO hosted a key lane ceremony on Tuesday for the future USNS Herschel Woody Williams, the company said. This climate change created shocking environment records of 2015. An ion trap with 4 recommended blade, which was used to trap a linear chain of atom ions for quantum information processing. Each ion is addressed to particularly for individual control and readout using a high optical access and a trap. You might think that the homes in wealthy neighborhoods with new and better maintained houses would be better keeping out bugs and pests. And richer homes also richer in biodiversity. The National Health Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases has injected 2 human volunteers that experimental DNA based on Zika vaccine. Director Anthony Fauci announced today that a month ahead of the protection schedule for vaccine development, Wednesday, heart disease risk factors such as abnormal cholesterol levels and high blood pressure be increased before a woman goes by the menopause, not after new search finds. Texas Medicaid will begin providing mosquito repellent to all expected members and women between the ages of 10 and 45, as public health officials grapple with the likelihood that Texas will see at least some low contamination of Zika virus. 33 U.S. service members, including one who was expected to contract the Zika virus overseas, the Pentagon said. Top Trump aide Paul Manafort swore that the campaign had nothing to do with a radical change in the official Republican Party position in Ukraine. A former Navy SEAL official won the Republican primary from Missouri Governor Eric Rittens cast himself as a conservative outsider willing to use his military bravado to blow up a perceived corrupt president government. Donald Trump's slipping and polls have been taking a warning that the election is being rigged in. If it were the Washington Post published on Tuesday, Trump suggested a recent court rulings against strict voter laws in North Carolina and Wisconsin. Denver, with a national party convention in the rearview mirror, both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are showing an attention on the western battleground state of Colorado. Alright, take a look at some local news. Renton, the town is looking to needs its water ban by adopting a new policy that will allow more aggressive restrictions. After the state announced a drought advisory for the area, went to put it into place and a full water ban that allows only hand water in outdoors. But Public Works Superintendent Michael Levin said that such the stringent measure is really needed at this point. The town's current 2-step policy only lets Public Works enforce 2 days a week watering out all that ban. Boston overdose deaths related to the use of the powerful synthetic opioid fentanyl are on the rise in Massachusetts, according to preliminary data for the first half of 2016 released by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. Wednesday's report shows fentanyl-related deaths continue to climb, with a 66% of 2016 confirmed opioid-related deaths from showing a toxicology screen that tested a positive fentanyl. That's up from 57% in 2015. Boston and Mayor's Force organizer of the study St. Patrick's Day Parade to invite an LGBT veterans group in March to the 2 years ago, the parade's group, Florida said. Alright, look at the stock market report at 5:08 on this Wednesday evening. The Dow ended its 7-day losing streak as the Dow up 41.23 points at 18,355, SP 5 263.79 up 6.06, and Nasdaq 5,159 up an even 22. In the year, DAX 25.87 up 10,170.21, FTSE down 11 at 663.40, and CAC down 6.91 at 4,321.08. European market, Asian markets. Nikkei down 308.34 at 69.83.11. Shanghai 29.79 at 7.89 points. HSI 21,739.12 up down 39.02 points. In the oil markets, up $1.65 at 41.16. Brent 43.43 up $1.63, and natural gas up 109 point at 2.842. Gold markets down 8.10 at 1364.50. Silver 20.44 down 261. Copper 2.19995 down 95,000 a point. And bonds, US 10 yield 1.5454% up 8,000 points. Bond 10 yield 0.045% down 12,000 points. Japanese 10 yield 0.091% down 15,000 points. FX bonds, European US dollar 1.1146 down 1,000 points. US dollar Japanese yen 101.19 down 3 cents. And Great Britain US dollar 1.3324 down 2,000 points. Alright, look at that. Commodities. Wheat, 4, 10.5, up 9.25. Soybean, 9.51 quarter, up 1.25. Corn, 3.35 3/4, up 1 3/4. Sugar 90.10 up 5 cents. Coffee 140.20 down $1.05. Cotton safe 4.30 up 32 cents per price. 9.565 unchanged, and Coke with 2,996 up 100. Live cattle 115.175 up 60 cents. Lean ox 59.50 down 102.5, and FD cattle 147.475 up 2. Peter Childers on 510 on this Wednesday evening, 10 hour for Sport. Tonight, the Boston Red Sox will try to bounce back from a tough 5-4 loss as they will square off against the Seattle Mariners. Game time 10 p.m. Athens, our time, which is 7:10 p.m. their time. Take a look at some Major League Baseball scores. Milwaukee Brewers trying to send their Padres 4-0. Washington Nationals, Arizona Diamondbacks 1-1 tying top of the 5th, and Miami Marlins leading the Chicago Cubs 4-2 in the top of the 8th inning. Rio de Janeiro, it seems you hear it all the time in Brazil since Eric's events in 2014. Every time a child trips the sidewalk, a workman smacks him with a hammer, a driver gets cut out by a careless motor's leader. There's one Olympic victory Brazilians want the most. Rio de Janeiro, the latest on the summer of Olympics of Rio de Janeiro, as Brazilian rap police have used tear gas and pepper spray to disperse protesters to path for the Olympic torch relay north of Rio de Janeiro. Michael Phelps, a Bob star head coach of the U.S. Olympic men's swimming team, respectfully voiced frustration Wednesday with a lack of solution to performance that continue to shadow the games. NBA women Celtics unlikely to trade Russell Westbrook. We'll wait for next time to learn the point guard. The U.S. women's soccer team opens its campaign for a 4th consecutive Olympic gold medal and a 5th overall with tonight's game against New Zealand Mineral Stadium in Belo Horizonte. The group stage match will be followed by games. Amid the broader promise as little on the Rio, they will been on in every other recent games until they kept threatening the claps under their own weight. There's one specific promise that will not been kept. The Rio 2016 Olympic Games get underway on Wednesday with a women's football match played in the front of a sparse Olympic Stadium crowd, and several prominent members of the International Olympic Organization Committee said that they difficult getting reaching ready for the World Summer Games is likely meant the organization shy away from holding the world's biggest sports events in cities. Peter Childers on 512 on this Wednesday evening, and it's time now for Traffic and Transit Report. Beep! Let's study off in the MBTA, where Charlestown Ferry Express in 10 to 15 minutes due to a C&G carrier arrival. On the subway, still on S1 is person running lazy to traffic, and on the commuter rail, looking good. Alright, take a look at some highways and byways around New England. Highways and byways in New York City are Sligo, down in Connecticut, 95 southbound side vector from Sanford all the way after the 287 in New Rochelle, New York, 95 on the northbound side vector from Greenwich all the way after Bridgeport. 95 on the southbound side also around New Haven to Milford, 95 on the northbound side also New Haven out to Bridgeport. New Haven all the way at the Brentford, 95 on the southbound side also from Guilford to Brentford. Merritt Parkway on the eastbound side vector from Sanford all the way at the Fairfield. Merritt Parkway also vector from Bridgeport all the way at the Milford. Merritt Parkway and southbound side also from Merritt and down for New Haven. Merritt Parkway and on the northbound side it is so from Hamden all the way at the 91. 81 on the eastbound side is so from Richfield, Connecticut all the way at the Newtown, Connecticut, and Hillsborough, Connecticut, and the Watertown stretch. 84 on both ends also and the Hartford stretch. 91 on the southbound side also before I-84 downtown Hartford, Connecticut. 91 on both ends also before I-84 downtown Hartford, Connecticut. Route 29 on the eastbound side also after Route 91 in Middletown. 91 on the northbound side is backed up for 57 to 291 in Springfield. 291 on the northbound side is backed up for the Springfield stretch. Mass Factory change with 91 and 290 in Springfield, Worcester. It's a little slow. 91 on both ends, also in Northampton stretch. 290 on the westbound side is backed up from 190 to Route 9 in Worcester. And Mass Factory change with 290 395. But all minutes slow. 295 on the southbound side, it did so from Route 6 in Johnson to Cranston. 95 on the northbound side is backed up from Route 4 in Warwick all the way at the downtown Providence. 95 on the southbound side is backed up from South Edinburgh all the way to downtown Providence. 195 westbound side is backed up from Seacock to downtown Providence. 69 connectors so from 6 to 95 in downtown Providence. 146 on the southbound side is backed up from Lincoln all the way to downtown Providence. 146 on both ends also after Route 295 in Lincoln. 99 the northbound side also on Woonsocket stretch. 95 on the southbound side is backed up from 128 out in Kenton all the way after Route 295 in Albert. 295 on the northbound side is backed up from Route 1 in North Albert to Route 95. 24 on the southbound side is up go from 128 in Kenton all the way at the Brockton and hit breaks again from 104 in Bridgewater all the way at the Route 140 at Taunton. 495 in the southbound side of Lowell from 24 all the way out to 44 in the random Middleborough stretch. Route 3 and southbound side going from the Braintree Split all the way out to 220 in Rockland hit breaks again from Marshfield all the way to Plymouth. Route 6 on the westbound side is backed up at the Bronxville stretch and then hit breaks again around the Tugboat Bridge. Route 6 on the westbound side of Lowell from the Dennett stretch. 128 on both ends Lowell from 95 in Kenton all the way to the Braintree Split. Savage Expressway Soul from ends from Boston and Braintree. 93 both ends of downtown Boston is backed up. 93 in the southbound side is so from Somerville all the way to downtown Boston. 93 on the northbound side is so from Boston all the way up in the Reddit and Wilmington and hit breaks again on both ends for the long stretch. Mass back on both ends it is so from Newton all the way up to downtown Boston and 95. It's looking good from Perry all the way up in the New Hampshire border. Mass back on both ends it's slow from Stafford's Expressway at the Logan Airport and Mass back on the westbound side is back from Austin all the way up to Framingham. 45 minutes southbound side it is slow from 290 all the way to the Mass back in the Marlborough Westboro stretch. 290 westbound side slow from Route 190 to Route 9. 495 on northbound side it is backed up from Leominster all the way out to Lawrence. 495 on the southbound side it is backed up from Lawrence all the way to Westford. 128 it's backed up all the way from Kenton all the way up in Route 3 in Burlington. 128 on the northbound side it is backed up from Route 9 in Wolseley all the way up in Route 1 in PB and 120 on the southbound side is go from Linfield and Burlington stretches. 120 on the southbound side so from Belway to Route 95 in PBD. Route 3 on the northbound side it is backed up from Burlington all the way at the Lowell. 495 on both ends it's so from Westford all the way at the Lawrence. And 495 is backed up from Lawrence all the way to Haverhill. Down in southern New Hampshire, Spalding Trip on the northbound side, so from Portsmouth all the way to Route 4 in Durham. 101 on the westbound side of Lowell from Manchester, New Hampshire. 295 on the eastbound side is backed up from the main turnpike all the way to downtown Portland, Maine. 295 on the southbound side is backed up around Portland, Maine. 91 on the southbound side of Lowell at the Canadian border up in Vermont. Route 1 on the southbound side is backed up around Brunswick stretch, and 87 on the southbound side of Lowell at the Canadian border up in Plattsburgh, New York, and Route 15 is backed up on the northbound side after the New York State border up in southern Quebec towards Montreal. Peter Channel News Time 5:17 on this Wednesday evening, and it's time now for a weather report. And take a look at our current conditions. It is clear skies. It's clear skies, 79 degrees, humidity of 63%, 2 about 65 degrees, barometer state at 30.11, and winds east-south is 1 mile an hour. And take a look at our current conditions around the region. It's 78 degrees out in Boston. It's 84 degrees out in Bedford, 85 in Fitchburg, in Bellingham, Gloucester, Massachusetts, 78 out in Worcester, 82 in Norwood, 81 in Taunton, 79 in Bedford, it's 80 in Plymouth, it's 77 in Falmouth and Provincetown, 75 in Chatham, 74 in Martford, 73 in Nantucket, it's 77 in Woonsocket and Providence, it's 75 in Newport and Westerly, 74 in Bucktown and Montauk, New York, 77 in Islip, 70 in New York City, 70 in Bridgeport, 79 in Raven, it's 77 in Denbury, Waterbury, Connecticut, it's 80 in Windsor Locks and Meriden, Connecticut, 84 in Hartford, Connecticut, 83 in Springfield, 82 in Orange, Massachusetts, it's 83 in North Adams, Massachusetts, it's 78 in Pittsfield, 81 in Albany, New York, 82 in Silver Springs, it's 80 in Rutland, Vermont, 77 in Bayton, Vermont, it's 82 in Laconia and Keene, Hampshire, 81 in Japan, Hampshire, it's 82 in Nashville, Hampshire, it's 82 out in Laconia, Hampshire, it's 85 out in Concord, Hampshire, 82 in Manchester, Hampshire, it's 80 degrees out in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and 79 degrees up in Portland, Maine, and water temperature 72. Alright, take a look at a certain map of the country. It shows a stationary front from Nevada, merged with a cold front stretching from Wyoming up in the North Dakota, merged with a low pressure right in North Dakota, and this is a stationary front stretching from North Dakota, stretching all the way down for the Carolina coast, and merged with a cold front off the North Carolina coast, and seeing a low pressure right in Kansas and Missouri, where a frontal from western Oklahoma down for western Texas and up in the northern Mexico, and a frontal stretching from the Oregon coastline and the northwestern portions of California. High pressure ridges up in Oregon, northwestern Great Lakes, and western New England. 88 degrees of temperature in Detroit, 86 in Pittsburgh, 83 in Washington, D.C. It is 92 out in Atlanta, Georgia, it's 89 in Miami, 92 in Brownsville, Texas, 99 in Dallas, Texas, it's 99 in Dallas, Texas, it's 89 in Kansas City, 88 in Omaha, Nebraska, and Chicago, Illinois, and Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's 70 Great Falls, Montana, 69 in Seattle, 71 in San Francisco, 77 in Los Angeles. It's 98 in Las Vegas, 91 in Salt Lake City, 94 in Denver, 85 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and 95 degrees out in Phoenix, Arizona. Alright, take a look at Alright, take a look at radar around the country that shows some patchy bands of rain showers stretching upstate New Hampshire, northwestern and the Moosehead Lake region of Maine. Patchy rain showers stretching from western New York down to Pennsylvania, and clusters of showers and thunderstorms stretching from Virginia down to Florida and stretching far east to southeast Texas. And line of showers and storms stretching from western Texas, Mexico, stretching from the Far Dakota region and up to eastern Wyoming down for western Dakota, and Atlanta showers and storms stretching from eastern British Columbia down for Alberta down for southwest Saskatchewan, heavy bands of showers and storms around Saskatchewan. And a line of showers and storms stretching from northern North Dakota, stretching around Manitoba, and a line of rain showers stretching from north central Minnesota, and some rain showers stretching around Wisconsin from Milwaukee down north of Chicago. Alright. Looking at the satellite loop, and it shows line of clouds stretching off the Carolina coast and out to sea. Line of clouds coming much of Louisiana. Line of clouds stretching from western Tennessee and Kentucky, stretching in southern Illinois and left to southwestern Indiana. And a line of clouds stretching from Mexico, stretching all the way up in the Rockies and down western Dakota. And a line of clouds stretching around Minnesota and southeast Wisconsin. And a line of clouds from Manitoba, stretching in eastern British Columbia and northern Idaho and down to the northwestern portions of Mexico. Northwestern portions of Montana. Alright. The latest on Tropical Storm Earl. It's now a Category 1 hurricane with... Now it's a tropical storm with 70 mile per hour wind gusts, 17.1 to the north, 86.0 to the west. It's expected to become a hurricane as it reaches Belize and weaken into a tropical storm. In the latest public advisory had Earl, large Earl headed for Belize, and another hurricane had a plane currently approaching. And a hurricane warning is effective for Puerto Customaya, Mexico, southward to the Belize-Guatemala border. Bay Island, Honduras, and tropical warnings in effect the northwest of Honduras from Cabo Cresters at DS westward to the Honduras-Guatemala border, north of Puerto Customaya to Puerto Island, Mexico. For survey information, visit their air police water products issued by your National Meteorological Service at 4 p.m. Past Central Daylight Time. The center of tropical Earl was located near line to 17.1 at the north, longitude 86.0 to the west. Earl's moving toward the west near 14 miles an hour, 22 kilometers an hour. This general motion is expected to continue with some degrees to the 40 speed during the next 48 hours, and the forecast directly to the core of Earl will continue to pass near the Honduras Bay Island during the next few hours and may landfall to Belize tonight or early Thursday. Maximum say winds may near 70 miles an hour with a higher gust. However, Earl is expected to be a hurricane by the time it reaches Belize. Weakened is expected to after the center of Earl moves inland. Earl will become a large cyclone and tropical storm force wind exit optimal at 140 miles an hour, primarily to the northeast and the center. The estimated minimum temperature is 99 millibars. Wind, tropical winds, and conditions are probably occurred along the north coast of Honduras, including the Bay Islands. These conditions will reach Belize and Mexico within the hurricane and tropical storm warning area by tonight and early Thursday. Hurricane conditions are expected to Bay Islands and Honduras during the next 7 hours and the portions of the hurricane warning area in Belize and Mexico tonight and early Thursday. Rainfall. Earl is expected to produce total rainfall accumulation of 8 to 12 inches on the ports of the Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, and the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. For Thursday night, very heavy rain will reach the Mexican states and Tabasco, Veracruz. Between Thursday night and Saturday morning, isolated maximum amounts of 16 inches are possible in Belize and Mexico. These rains can result in life-threatening flash floods and mudslides. Storm surge will raise river levels by as much as 4 to 6 feet above normal tide levels and along the immediate coast of Belize and the eastern Yucatan Peninsula and near the north of where the center makes landfall. Storm surge will raise water levels by as much as 2 to 4 feet above normal tide levels. In area of onshore winds in the Bay on Honduras, near the coast, the surge will be accompanied by large and damaging waves. Alright, take a look at forecast discussion. High pressure will bring dry weather, cool nights, and warm afternoons for Friday. A cold front may bring a random scattered showers and thunderstorms Saturday, dry and seasonable. Weather returns Sunday at Tuesday as high pressure settles over New England. The high moves southeast toward the area with Wednesday with a warming trend beginning. Classic 7 time. Late afternoon, the Reynolds CU field clear to the coast thanks to the sea breezes and more dense CU along the spine of the higher terrain. Should we see a CU field diminish over the next couple of hours as we lose the sunshine? Otherwise, afternoon dew points in the mid-50s and the clearing skies and the light wind should lead to another pleasant night with minimum temp 50s. Fog once again on potentially should fade to a good racial cool. Also suspected of not being widespread as late night. Mainers watching will be getting value. Get typical port coastal locations. And take a look at weather notes. If you go on the beach, perfect weather conditions. 73, 82 to be highs with a water temperature 75. Expected dew points are comfy. Expected 40% chance of storms on Saturday. And August high temperatures 2.8 below average in Boston. And 2 points to be sticky on Friday, Saturday to be comfy on Sunday. Alright. Take a look at expected lows. Expected tonight, lows to be 56 to 63 degrees. Tomorrow's highs, 81 to 88 degrees. Alright, take a look at a 7-day forecast. It goes like this. For tonight, you're going to have patch mark up to 3 a.m. Most coasts got about 53 degrees. That one about 6 miles coming in the evening. The Thursday patch mark for 8 a.m. Alright, sun's got about 84 degrees. Coming southwest about 5 at 7 miles in the morning. Thursday night, patch mark up to 1 a.m. Alright, most coasts got about 59 degrees. South about 5 miles coming in the evening. For Friday, sun's got 84 degrees. South about 3 to 7 miles an hour. For Friday night, slight temperature showers up to 11 p.m. Patch mark after 3 a.m. Alright, forecast got about 65 degrees. South about 5 to 7 miles an hour. Temperature 20%. Saturday, check the showers and thunderstorms are possible after 10 a.m. Partly sun's got 84 degrees. Chances 50%. Saturday night, forecast about 65 degrees. Sunday, most coasts got 85, about 62 degrees. Monday, Sunday, most coasts got 82, about 60 degrees. For Tuesday, Sunday, most coasts got 86, about 64 degrees. And for Wednesday, most coasts got about 88 degrees. Peters, what a phrase of the day. Picture perfect night and terrific on Thursday. Peters, they have a good evening in Boston. See you for it. Overnight news report right after the sports right after the Red Sox Seattle Mariners game. Have a good evening with a good positive.